I am 27 this year, and for most of the 9 years before this one, I was lost. Not lost in a dramatic kind of way, not in a way anyone around me would have necessarily seen. Just quietly unsure, quietly anxious, quietly not quite myself. I spent 3 years at university, 4 years at Deloitte in London, 3 more years building my own thing alone. Over 3,650 days of adult life.
I'm not here to tell you have it all figured out. I'm just here to share the lessons that you learned the hard way, the things that nobody tells you and nobody taught me, the things that I wish someone who's been through it all had told me when I was younger.
Research shows that more young people are now at the risk of depression than ever before, which, honestly, I wouldn't have predicted, given the rising house prices, the wars, the omnipresence of social media showing us exactly how our lives don't measure up. Now, we're told a lot of things about how to handle this, by teachers, by online gurus, by motivational speakers. Work harder, focus on what you can control, believe in yourself. And maybe that's all true, but I've come to think it's not the full picture. I once watched an interview with a man who had everything I'm setting out to build. Money, houses, a family, a business, a life, by most measures, well lived. He was in his 50s, and someone asked him, "What would you say to young people today about why they're so anxious?" He said something I wasn't expecting. He didn't say work harder. He didn't say believe in yourself. He said, you cannot predict life. Whether you'll be rich or poor, happy or in pain, even whether you'll be alive. He said it pretty plainly, like it was the most obvious thing in the world. And it still hit me hard, because if you're like me, here's what I think I actually do. I plan, I prepare, I write every step down. I build scenarios in my head, not because I truly know what will happen, but because imagining I know makes me feel safer. What if all that planning was never really planning at all? What if it was just mental comfort? A story we tell ourselves to avoid the fear of not knowing. Being human means being unable to predict the future, no matter how hard we try. Not everything will go our way. Rich or poor, happy or in pain, life or death. These things can be shaped by forces largely outside of our control. And the anxiety we feel trying to prevent the bad outcomes? That anxiety, the stress, the dread, the lying awake at night, we create it for ourselves because we are afraid of uncertainty before anything has even happened.
So if you're anxious and you're struggling today, here's what I want to say. We cannot control the outcome. We can only control the effort and the attempt. And I know that's not usually what we're told. We're told that if we try hard enough, it'll all work out. Maybe, maybe not. And maybe that's not the full picture. Maybe that's not the point. What's important is that with each attempt, we become wiser. We become more aware of ourselves and become better and better at enjoying this life that we're lucky enough to have.
For me, understanding that didn't make me give up. It made me breathe, because I stopped fighting a battle I was never going to win. The battle against uncertainty itself. But here's the thing I didn't expect. When I finally accepted that I couldn't fully control or predict the outcome, something strange happened. I stopped being afraid of trying and failing. Maybe failure was never the catastrophe I thought it was. It was just information, learning, a thing that happened on the way to somewhere else. If you're still listening, I want you to ask yourself, what if this is what actually frees us? Frees us from the weight of other people's expectations, from our own expectations, from the fear of not being enough, from the paralysis of needing to know it will work before we even begin. What if the moment we stop needing certainty is the moment we finally go all in on the things we love, on the things we truly believe we can succeed in, on the things we know somewhere deep down we're actually good at? What if that freedom, not discipline, not strategy, not a morning routine, is what actually allows us to become the people we are capable of being all along?